We are back. We're back for another Saturday. Um, I decided, I said in the beginning I'll do the Friday lives because that sounded like a little bit more of a punch to it. But realistically, Saturdays work better for me, so I'm gonna decide to switch over the lives to Saturdays moving forward. So yeah, everything's nice and good. I ended up cleaning my beard today. Made a video about it, so I'll be posting that soon. And yeah, I think it's just fun because I have the time, so I gotta, just make some content along the way and just show, you know, it's quite fun growing a beard. And it's kind of interesting because it's been a long time since I've been growing a beard. I mean, every once in a while I'd just like, grow it. But yeah, that was like for one Christmas or something. And ended up making another video, comedic video on that. But yeah, it's a lovely Saturday, guys. So you know what? Let's go get right into the bearded legend of the week. So today's bearded legend is Marcus Aurelius, a famous Roman emperor and also famous Stoic philosopher. He ended up writing this book. Actually, it was a kind of a diary for himself. He never published it, but it was called Meditations. It's a really good read if you guys ever, um, if you ever pick it up. Just yeah, it's available, and I think it's available in different interpretations too, because the guy was so uh, he was such a philosopher that he had so much articulation with what was going on at the times. It was pretty cool. And he ruled during wars, plagues, yet emphasized calm, patience, and self-control. So this guy, his main deal was, don't let things that you can't control around you. Don't worry about those. Just worry about the things that you can control. Going into the next one, he believed you should focus on what you can control and ignore the rest. So that's a pretty good stoic way to look at things because, I like to dabble in stoicism. I'm gonna be honest. It's fun to see and practice just being in control of your own emotions, being in control of what you can control, and then whatever you can't control, just disregard it because again, whatever you can't control, that's going to get to you, and you're going to end up getting too resentful because you can't control anything. So you end up almost paying for it physically, mentally, and everything. So whatever you can't control, just don't worry about it. Just throw it out to the wind because it's not worth your health, your mental status. It's not worth worrying about it. So Marcus Aurelius was a good component of understanding that state of just being present. So you can learn a lot from this bearded legend, Marcus Aurelius. Um, and a good quote to end this bearded legend is this beard isn't about hype. Let me transition to what he would have looked like. There's a cool artist's rendition of Marcus Aurelius. But yeah, this beard isn't about hype. It's about showing up daily, even when nobody's watching, or even if a plane's like flying by, interrupting your closing line. But whatever. It's not a big deal. That's life. You got to keep bearding the course. You got to keep things in your own control, and that's awesome. That's awesome to do. Be like bearded legends like Marcus Aurelius. It won't hurt you. In fact, it might even save you because he went through wars and plagues. I mean, come on. And he was an emperor. He was going through a lot, but personally, He was able to write down in good detail about what he was going through, about what the world was going through at the time. A lot of pestilence, a lot of, a lot of heartache, and he had to endure it. And that's what we all have to do. We all have to endure when things get tough. Like growing a 3-year beard. Growing a 3-year beard is pretty tough. It's a long time. It's just a long way. It's already been like 38 days. And I mean, I'm not trying to think about, oh my God, well, how many more days do I got to keep counting? I just got to take it day by day, not get affected by my life and what, I have to do regarding my having to do other things aside from growing a 3-year beard. You know, there's a lot of work put in it. You got to make money. You got to take care of family. You got to take care of yourself too. So it's a balance, but I feel like I can keep doing this at a good constant rate. And I do have a lot of good motivation, a lot of good, even though Marcus Aurelius said that discipline mattered more than motivation. So sometimes you don't even need to be motivated. Just get up and do it, Just do it. I mean, I stumble over my words all the time. It's not a big deal. I just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And eventually, hopefully, I'll get even a little bit better at doing lives or even making videos. It's a matter of repetition. So discipline matters a lot more than motivation. I agree with Marcus Aurelius. A nice little cool rendition of Marcus Aurelius. In fact, I mean, he kind of looks like one of my coworkers, honestly. I work with a guy, he's technically my supervisor. He's a younger guy, but like he looks spitting image. He looks exactly like Marcus Aurelius. And wasn't there like a movie about Marcus Aurelius, like The Gladiator? My name is Marcus Decimus Meridius. I belong to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. I kind of turn into Batman at the end. Where's the Joker? Where's Marcus Aurelius? He's dead, of course. Bearded legend right here. Hey guys, sorry if I'm ignoring the chat. How you doing, Collery? Thank you. I appreciate the comments. Hi, Henrique. Is it Henrique? Okay, I think it is. Games Pro. Oh, you a gamer? Nice. What are you playing? I'm playing a lot of cool online games with my sister right now. And man, it's like up until now, 2026 is going to be a year where there's going to be a lot of cool co-op games coming out. I think there was one like It Takes Two, but it's like an anime style. That's pretty cool. Like, and you can do like, split screen, help each other out, play. I mean, me and my sister were excited, about co-op games. We do a lot of like, first person, third person, types of shooters and stuff like RPGs. And right now I'm playing Halo, as well as Fable. I just like to go back on the older games because I can't wait for the newer games to come out. I think there's like a new Fable that's coming out, or like a remaster of the remaster of the first game. So I get a little bit passionate. Can you say Shibal? Shibal. Shibala wala, oop, shibala bala, oop, shibala bala, oop, shibala bala. Do you think this is not like a pre-recorded thing, or I don't know? I'm doing it live right now because I just got time on Saturday. Like, probably, I don't know what Marcus Aurelius was doing on his Saturdays. He was probably just like trying to figure out, how not to go to war and how to, provoke violence and stuff, and writing in his journal, meditations. By the way, again, you can pick up meditations and learn from this Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great time to be alive right now. It's a great time to do something that you want to do. It's a great time to set goals, and just keep at it regardless of what's going around you, what's coming at you. You know, we all think that, like, hey, man, it's a cloudy day, so it's got to be real sad, right? No, you don't have to think of a cloudy day as like, it's not sunny, you know? You don't have to do that. You could just think about it differently. I think there was another video just recently. I was like, it's a lovely cloudy day, you know. It's just the way that you think about things. So when you think about things, you could either think about it in a negative way, or you could think about it in a positive way. Or the secret, you don't have to think about it at all, which is what Marcus Aurelius did quite often. He tried not to think about it at all. So if you have a goal, just don't think about it all the time. Just know that, hey, I got to get up, I got to do it, and I got to drink my Waterloo to stay hydrated. Waterloo, Waterloo, everybody likes Waterloo. It's Waterloo. If you guys are listening, you know, it's like kind of like the same. Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice. So, Waterloo, baby, it's good and nice. Man, shout out to that lady who made that cool little tune. Man, if only anyone could just pick up an item and sing something, and then the company was like, "Hey, do me next," you know? That's awesome. It's cool that people get lucky like that with, you know, some form of good talent, you know? Because I'm pretty sure if anyone came at like Dr. Pepper and said, "Hey, Dr. Pepper, I have a great song. Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper." You know, it's like you have to have a good tone. You got to sing correctly. You got to have like some good rhythm to it. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to be listening to you. You're just going to be like, yeah, I'm the only one being watched, right? Which, again, takes a lot of discipline. Singing sometimes comes naturally. But I mean, sometimes growing a beard also comes naturally too. But I mean, even then, it's not how many follicles I can grow on my face. It's pretty much like how much can I maintain it? Because I pulled a hair out one like just recently. I pulled I accidentally pulled one out, and I saw how long it was. Now, you don't think that it's long right now, but my finger just disappeared. So it is, you know, it's getting to like, you know, this much, I think. Yeah, right there. Pretty basically, yeah, that length. Maybe like a quarter of an inch. I don't know. But I know that I just, because I've been combing it, it's been just going, you know, more flattened in that direction. So I'm having a good time. And it's fun to just get back into this routine. An itch, yes. I was itching my face, and then a hair came out. No, I accidentally just pulled it, and like, you know, I had to like pull it with a little bit more force, because I don't think I'm getting stressed. Usually, when you get stressed and you don't like properly, you know, keep your beard nice and moist, you know, especially on the skin surface, then yeah, you will lose follicles and stuff. But I'm not either. You know, I'm doing a good job. My wife loves seeing my beard grow. She and I we came up with an agreement because before I had a fun idea to do something every single year. But then, you know, I got to think about my wife. I got to think about, because I'm married, you know, how am I going to look, you know, in front of people with my wife? Even if I'm, you know, doing a celebration, I don't want to be looking like the old geezer, you know, like the old homeless man that she ended up bringing to the party. I don't want to look like that at all. But what I will promise, and we compromised, because again, my head doesn't look very good just by itself. You know, if I shaved it, it doesn't look good, and I get it. You know, my head is a little bit pointier. You know, it's not too bad. It's not to the point where I'm a spectacle, but I mean, come on, I get it. I'm not as attractive, when I am, fully shaved. When I have a lot more hair on top of my head, I can actually style my beard a lot better so I can look more presentable. It's not about looking hot or anything, it's about being presentable. And hey, I love my wife and we have like conversations about this because again, 3 years is a long time to grow a beard. And it's definitely going to make me look a lot different than I did when I first started this journey. I mean, let's be honest. I look like I was like, uh, I don't know, guy from the Blue Man Group, but without the blue. And then, you know, I'm starting to look more like an old Marcus Aurelius, um, without the curly Q on the top. But again, I work with a guy that looks exactly like this. So if only he grew his beard the way that the way that Marcus Aurelius looks like, he would look exactly like. And if he grew out his, hair a little bit more, he would look exactly like Marcus Aurelius. I kid you not. In fact, I sent him the picture because uh, I decided to make him the bearded legend today. So I was like, look, just squinting at it. I'm like, who did that remind me of? Oh my goodness! So I just immediately texted him the picture. I said, Who does this look like, bro?" And he's like, "Bruh," because he's younger than me. So I think he's still like 26, 27 or something. But I'm 41. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for my grays and my whites in my beard, you could probably think that I look a little bit younger, but I don't know. A lot of visual, representation is definitely determined on how you're going to be presented as. So I definitely get that. I get it as a relationship too, because again, it's a compromise. When you're married, you have to compromise. It's not all about me, 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 me. Like we're compromising. So again, I want to look nice and presentable. Which again, there was a person that asked me like, "Are you like shade? Are you like trimming up here, or are you just letting it all go?" I'm like, "Look, I have to compromise. I'm married. I don't want to be looking like, something that just walked out of a sewer. I don't want to look like that. I have, a little bit of style that I want to keep, maintained because I do have to meet patients every single day. And when I start coming in, looking like, hey, I'm one of the patients too. I'm ready to stay here. No, I can't do that. I have to look a little bit more professional and presentable. And again, a 3 year beard is reasonable if you're doing it right. If you're maintaining a certain haircut that matches very well with a good looking long beard. Again, it's all about aesthetics, all right? And I've done this before. I've tried the first year beard and I started noticing, yeah, this is going to look a little bit more scragglier than I thought. So I'm just, shaving the scragglies. I'm shaving the little insignificant amount of patch that's not even there, just like strands and little strands of hair. I have some hairs that go up to here. You want me to keep that too? I'll be looking like Mr. Wolfman. I don't want to look like that. I have a job. I got priorities, all right? I got to make money. This ain't no like, I'm not making any money from this thing right now. So that's cool. I gotta, prioritize and I gotta compromise. So I love compromising with my wife. Grooming and styling, yes. That's another important thing when it comes to the responsibility of growing a beard. You want to look like, or you want to look more stylish. And that's the good thing. But yeah, you want to look like a Sasquatch or do you want to look stylish? You want to look like Harry and the Hendersons, or you want to look like GQ. You want to look like, I can go on and on, but that's the thing. It's all about how you want to be presented. And this time around, I want to be presentable so that way maybe potentially I can go to a beard competition. In fact, that was the one thing that I wanted to do the first time I grew my beard for a year, but I didn't. I don't think I had enough time and enough concept to see how well it would do. So this time around, I got some plans. I really want to, pledge to go into beard competitions and see. I'm not even like expecting to win because there's some amazing beards and mustaches out there. In fact, they're known for being known for that. I'm not. I'm just a guy who just grew his beard for a year, and BuzzFeed looked it up. Rumble looked it up. Everyone kind of like, hey, look, this guy's like, growing a big beard. So I'm gonna continue to get to the length and the volume of it. I'm not gonna touch anything that's growing right now. I'm just gonna keep it nice and trimmed so that way I look more presentable. And I think that's good. It's a good compromise, if I'm still needing to work with patients and, I don't come in looking like, hey, is this guy gonna steal something from me? Or is this unfortunately, I work with some lower poverty um, patients that are on Medicaid. So they're like halfway care homes, from rehab centers. Some rehab centers that I work at are definitely psych rehabs. They're not all right in the head, and they don't really care about hygiene and everything. So you got to put your gloves on. You got to make sure to sanitize. Throw away everything and burn it. Just um, how you doing, Allie? How you doing? Happy Saturday. Look, guys, it's just it's fun to keep doing this, and some people don't like the videos that I post every day. Now that I'm kind of incorporating some jokes and some facts and some things, but I think that kind of rounds everything out. I was just, told by a few people that have beards that said, "Hey, I think he's called the bearded guy on TikTok. I mean, he's got a great red, full, thick beard. I mean, he might be Irish or something or Scottish or I don't know, but he's got a great big beard. The bearded guy. I mean, he's like look him up. He's cool. But yeah, he gave me some advice and said, "Hey, man." I appreciate the videos. Try, maybe, adding some more things to it so that way you can continue to reach more engagement. And some people like the rage bait, like I just posted today, like, oh, did you know that your follicles actually grow at different times? So don't worry about it. And then he said, like, that's kind of a, like a sad thing to worry about. Like, and I'm like, I agree. But for the people that do worry, there you go. There you go. I'm just giving some motivation. I'm trying to help people who want to grow beards as well. It's not a big deal. It's not that, much to think about. You just got to keep diligent. You got to keep disciplined with a same routine every day. You know, I don't even wash completely with like soap and conditioner like every single day because again, I think it dries out the beard a lot, and that way, once that happens, you just end up losing a lot more follicles because now the skin is a lot drier. But if you do it right, you can probably, wash, condition every day and put beard oil in every day. What I do is I, rinse and then I put a little bit more beard oil every day. And then I kind of rinse to kind of just rinse out everything, just get it exfoliated. I keep brushing. I don't brush constantly, but like every once in a while, I'll kind of brush. Cause yeah, it will get a little itchy. It'll get a little itchy. The beard will get itchy, but just as long as you kind of keep it nice and stimulated, because the facial skin is a little bit more exfoliant, I guess. The skin cells can continue to come off a little bit differently compared to the scalp, depending on who you are. But like, yeah, it's a very importance to keep this part of the face nice and moist. And then that's why beard oil and conditioners usually help. And I washed it today, so I made a video about that. I'll post it tomorrow if you're interested. It's gonna be chill. Anyways, you guys continue to have a great Saturday. Thank you so much for joining in. And continue to keep watching, keep tuning in. There's a guy on, I keep forgetting like which platform it is, but this guy, always mentions, I'm tuning in. I'm still tuning in. I'm like, I'm still tuning. I'm like, yeah, yes, awesome. I love that, you know, because again, you don't need to respond too much. You don't need to comment all the time. Just keep along for the ride. It's gonna be a long ride, but it'll be a fun ride. I'll guarantee that. Um, all right, guys, continue to enjoy your Saturday. Have the rest of the great weekend, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow, but I'll see you next Saturday. All right, take it easy.